Okay, we're up to the Mishnah on Mem Tes Lamed Beis, and we're going to begin the sugya of Oina. We're going to begin the sugya of overcharging. It says, it says, you shouldn't go ahead and cheat your brother. It's a simple word, but it's really exact. It's a very exact halachas. So let's give a little foreshadow about what's to come. If the amount that's charged is less than a sixth of the price, we're going to have a machloikis whether it's the price of the object and or the price itself of the guy. You know, the guy he paid too much. The objects it was. Then we say that the deal is still on, and the person is Michael in less than a sixth. It's such a minuscule amount. A person will go ahead and say it's a Michael. You keep. The guy who sells it, who gets cheated, says you keep it. If it's the other way around, the other guy says you keep it. It works. If it's more than a sixth, then the deal is off. If it's more than the sixth, the deal is off. Where it gets interesting is when it's exactly a sixth. When it gets interesting, it's exactly a sixth. Then our Mishnah says one thing, and the Brisa says another thing, and believe it or not, we pass like the Brisa. The Mishnah says if the deal is exactly a sixth, then the deal is either off or return the amount cheated. According to the Brisa, the deal is on and you return it. So the difference between the Mishnah and the Brisa is the case of what? Of a sixth. According to our Mishnah, the deal is off unless you return the money. According to the Brisa, which we pass like, the deal is still on and you return the money. Okay? Rabbi Tarfon is going to disagree in the Mishnah. He's going to say the amount of Oino is a third. He's going to say amount is a third. And we're going to get into some people who are very happy with Rabbi Tarfon and then not happy with Rabbi Tarfon. And it's going to make us for a very, very difficult Gemara. Rabbi Tarfon's happy. People happy with Rabbi Tarfon do not make Laser Stern happy. Trust me. It's very, very difficult Gemara. Okay, so we wish that slacha. And we have two charts. One is very, very good. One is very complicated, but hopefully we'll get through, okay? And you all have it. I sent it out to everyone except Mendy. Sorry. Got to join the human race, Mendy, Anyway, says the Mishnah. Is arba kesef may esrim v'arba kesef l'sela. So if you go ahead and you pay 4 when there are 6 times 4, there are 6 kesef, more sela, well, exactly what the lashon is. If you have 6 ma'os of kesef to a sela, so a sela is 2 shkalim, guys. A shekel is 2 dinarim. A dinar is 6 ma'os. So there are 6 ma'os kesef is 24 in a sela. 6 times 2 times 2 is 24. So what's the overcharge? If you overcharge by 4 out of 24 is a sixth of the price, right? That's where you get the sixth from. We overcharge 4 out of 24 is a sixth of the price. Shtus lemekach, a shtus of the mekach. Notice it's going on what? It's going on the worth. The kli was worth 24, and you either charge 28 or you charge 20. Either way, directional, right? I feel bad, Rabbi. Ad masai mutar lahachzir. When we say you can go ahead and go back on the deal, till you have time, the span it would take you to go to show it to have it estimated by a relative or by a merchant. It's a period of time. In other words, you don't actually have to do it. The time it would take you to actually do it. Reb Tarfon went ahead and taught in Lud. Ha'ayna is shmoina kesef me esrim v'arba kesef. 8 kesef from 24, which is a third. Shlish lemekach. So Atana says the 6, and he says, well, the third. The Samku Tagre Lud, and when they heard this, the Tagre Lud were very, very happy. Amulahem, so Reb Tarfon told them, Kol hayoim mutalachsar. In other words, not this shear of what that you could show to a relative or show to a merchant, but in fact, the shear, the whole day, you have to go ahead and change your mind. Amulai, so the Tagre Lud said, Yaniach lanu Rab Tarfin b'mkoimenu. Rab Tarfin, you should have stayed in your place. Initially, you did us a favor by making it a third, and now by telling us Kol Hayom, you didn't do us any favor. So a major part of tonight's staff will be is why were they happy initially, and what the Kol Hayom went ahead and destroyed their initial happiness, right? That's going to be very much the discussion over here. Okay, Ravavi, we just did the Mishnah on Mem Tes on the base, the Mishnah of Einah. So I'd like to, there's a Machlokes Rav and Shmuel, which I'd like to go ahead and do the chart first. Okay, you guys, look at the chart I sent out yesterday. Look at the chart I sent out yesterday. And you don't have me, I always forget to send it to you, you know? What? Yeah, I have it on the thing, right? You can go on the thing. Wait, tell me when you hear me, I'll put you on. Right? You good? Okay, good. Now, let's say the object was worth 6. In other words, its actual worth of the object was a 6th, and you overcharged, right? And you paid 5. You paid 5, so or it was worth 6, and the amount paid was 7. So in the first case, the moicher is getting messed up because it's worth 6 and he's only getting 5. And in the latter case, the lakeach is overpaying. In both these cases, you're getting it's 1/6 more. In both these cases, it's 1/6 more. Okay, and therefore both Rav and Shmuel would hold that you go after the value of the item, and since you have 1/6, the share of Einah would apply. Right? That's if you go after the worth. What happened the following? If it's worth 5, but you paid 6, it's worth 7, and you paid 6. So here's where the machlokes. Shmuel says not only do you go after the worth of the item, you even go the Einah about the amount paid. You even go the Einah the amount paid. So according to Rav, you only go after the worth of the item. So in this case, you paid what? You paid 1/5 more. In this case, according to Rav, the mechas batel. Since you paid 1/5 more than it's worth, right? The mechas batel, 1/5 is more than a 6th, and therefore it's batel. If you paid 7/6, then Rav would say you're Michael, because it's only what? A 7th. So again, the 3 possibilities, guys: A, B, and C. A, you're paying less. B, you're paying exactly Einah. And C, you're paying too much. So Rav's of the opinion that you only go after the worth of the actual item. You only go after the worth of the actual item. So in a case where the item was worth 5th and you paid 6, or the 7 and you paid 6, so Rav would say in that case it's 1/5. So therefore 1/5 we know that what is too much. The mechas batel, that's level C. If it's too little, if it's only 1/7, then it's level A, and it will be what? It will be Michael. Shmuel, on the other hand, says even not only the worth of the item, but even if the amount paid is more. So if the amount paid 6 is more than 5, 6 is more than 7, is 1/6, and therefore, according to Shmuel, since the amount was paid was the 6 more, you're going to say the din of Einah. That's the machlokes over here, and that's what the Gemara is going to say. So again, according to everybody, you go after what? The worth of the item. Shmuel says, in addition to going after the worth of the item, you go after the amount paid. So anytime you see on the chart 6, you know that what there's going to be Einah according to Rav, and over here 5 and 7, there's not going to be Einah to Rav, but according to Shmuel, they will be because Shmuel goes even after the amount paid. Okay, I'm going to keep the chart up there. Let's see it inside. Itmar, Rav Amar, shtus mechashnino, a 6th more than the value of the actual item. Ushmuel shtus mois nami shanino. The key word being there also. Shtus mois nami shanino. Even what the value of the amount paid. Shava shisa, for example, shava shisa b'chamisha, shava shisa b'shiva. If the item is worth 6 and you paid 5, the item is worth 6 and you pay 7. Kul yamalei pligi the basa mekach haslinon v'Einah have. That's a case of Einah. It's always going to be 1/6. Ki pligi shavi chamisha b'shisa, which is 1/5. The shava shiva b'shisa, which is 1/7. The shmul dama basa moyes haslinon. Einah. It's still Einah because it's a 6. You go after the amount paid. And that's on the second line on the chart. And Rav, the Amma Basa Mekach has lean on, then in that case, Shava Chamisha B'Shisha Bittul Mekach. Why? Because it's 1/5. Havi Shava Shiva B'Shisha, 7 and 6, Mechila Have, it's Mechila, I think it's Baruch Hashem, with this chart, it's self-explanatory, what we just said. Beautiful, right? Clear as a bell, yes? Yes? We're good? Guys, we're good. Sorry. Okay. Ushmul Amar, Ki Amrinon Mechila Ubitul Mekach. When the Shmuel say, we say Mechila and Bitul Mekach. Ki Amrinon Mechila Bitul Mekach. Hecha Deleka Shtus Mishteit Stadim. That's where you don't have what? Shtus from either one. Neither the amount paid or the actual worth of the item. Whether it's what, it's the amount paid. You have a 60 amount paid, or the 60 amount of the actual kli of the object, then oino have. Good. So that's the chart. Guys, you see the sixth over there, that means the sixth. So very good. Tanan. Hoino daled kesef. Hoino is daled kesef. Now we want to say this is Pshat na Mishnah. 4 kesef, me eser va'aba kesef. The seller. So the object's worth 20. The object's worth 20, and you pay 24. Shtus lemekach. That would be what? That would be a sixth of the price of the mekach. My lav dezovin shove esrim. You sold something that was worth what? That was worth 20. Be esrim ve'arba, and that's according to Rav, that's 1/5, not 1/6. So if you said something that was the value of the chayfetz was 20, and you sold it for 24, so that would mean that what? That you overpaid a 6 by the money. The object was only worth, according to Rav, it's a 5th. 20 to 24 is a 5th. According to Shmuel, it's a 6th. Good. So l'chay you have a right to Shmuel. Says the Gemara. Loi tizavin shove esrim ve'arba ve'esrim. You sold something 20 that was worth 24. You sold it for 20. 24/20 would be a 6th. That would be a 6th. So therefore, it could be according to Rav. Okay, guys. If it's 20 to 24, it's a 5th. If it's 24 to 20, it's a 6th. It's a 6th. If it's a 6th amount overpaid in the object itself, everyone agrees that's all you know. Now, here's the problem. If the object was worth 24 and he's only getting 20, the Meicher is getting messed up, right? So now, Minas Ana, who got cheated in this case? Meicher. The Meicher got cheated in this case. Ema Seifa, let's say the Seifa. Ad Masai Muto Lahachzer. What's the amount of time you have to go ahead and return the object? And it says Gemara Kadesh Yor L'Tago L'Kroivai. That's what when you show it to a merchant or a relative. In other words, the time you have to ascertain if you got cheated or not. So now, that's for the Loikeach. Rav Nachman Loishon, or Rav Nachman learns Pshat with the share of showing it to another individual. That's Ela Loikeach, the one who bought it. Why? Because he has the object in his hand, and he is able to go ahead and show it to someone. Aval Meicher, the one who sells it, La'olam Chayzer, he can go ahead, he has forever to be Chayzer. Why? Because he doesn't have the object. So you're telling me that the Mishnah is speaking in a case where it was 24 for 20, but you can't say that's the case. Why? Because 24/20, you would have the share of what? Of showing it to another person. You'd have the share of La'olam. And our Mishnah says you only have the share to show it to somebody else. So it's mashma only the Loikeach has been asana. So it's mashma, it's worth 20 and the Loikeach paid 24, which is a riot to Shmuel. Ella, it must be the following. The Zavin Shavyu Esrim Va'arba, the Esrim V'Timnaya. You sold something worth 24 for 28, which is 1/6 of the Mekach. So since it's 1/6 of the Mekach, it's no proof why to Shmuel. It's no proof to Shmuel. Okay. Tanan. I thought Heshi's not here tonight. Tanan. What? Tanan. Hayr Reb Tarfin Belud. Reb Tarfin taught in Lud. Ha'ina Shmoina Kesef Mi Esem V'Arba Kesef. 8 out of 24, right? Kesef L'Sela Shlish L'Mekach, which is a third of the price. My love, the same Gemara fellas, we're just going to use Rav Tarfin as the means of proving Shmuel and asking on Rav. Instead of the ratio of a 6, we're going to have the ratio of a third. So now, the Zavin Shavya Shitzri, he sold something that was worth 16, BS and Rabba for 24, 1/3 more, right? 1/3 more. So now the Lekeach is getting messed up. Shmamina, Shlish Mois, right? Shmamina, what? You go after the money paid, not just the abdat. So look where it's a riot to Shmuel. Says the no, the opposite. The Zavin Shavi Esrim Va'arba, you're selling something that was worth 24, the Shitzri for what? 16. Minus Ana, who is getting messed over? The Meicher, right? Now, so therefore it's not shver, it's the same, it's exact same kasha, just different numbers. And now the same kasha. Amos Sefer, Omlem Kolayoim Mutalachsar, Vam Rav Nachman Leishanu El Lekeach. He can go ahead and do the whole. Ella must be the Shav Yichaf Dalid. He sold something that was 24, Betil Sivitati for what? For 32. Again, 8 more, and now the Shavius is what? Is a sixth, is a third. Tani Kawasi, the Shmuel of Bryce, that's a right to Shmuel that you even go after the amount paid, not just after the worth of the object itself. Misha Hutul love, person who's cheated. Yadi al Yoni has the upper hand. Kesad. If you sell them something, hey bevav. So that's according to, if you go after the object, it's 1/5. If you go after the amount paid, it's 1/6. Minasana lekeach. Yad lekeach ala yona. Rotsa oimetenli mausi. Give me my money. I tenli masha nosi. Either give me my money back or give me the oina. Guys, this is not the halacha, fellas. This is, I told you the Mishnah, that either or. The halacha is that you keep it and then you pay them. So therefore, you have a right to Shmuel. Machaloi shava shisha b'chamish, b'chamesh, amid aleph. You sell what 6 and 5. You sell 6 or 5. Me nisana. Who's nisana? Is Meicher. The Meicher is nisana. He got cheated because he could have gotten one. Sell him more. Says Meicher. So yad Meicher al yoina. What's oimel atenli mechi? Atenli mashanusi. So the you have a raya to Shmuel that you go after what? Not only after the price of the mekach, you even go after what? The price of the money. Okay, now the next piece of Gemara, guys. The Gemara this evening is exceedingly difficult. I'm gonna set it up. We'll do a chart. I honestly can't tell you. It's so clear in my mind. I guess it was better in my mind years ago, but whatever. I don't mean to. Well, I mean to tell you, if you don't understand it, don't worry. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Of course, maybe I'm not explaining it so well. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Gemara is going to present a few questions, and it's going to use the dialogue of the Mishnah to explain the questions. What was the dialogue of the Mishnah? They said a sixth. Rav Tarfon said a third. The Tagri Lid were ecstatic. Then he said, yeah, but you know what? They have the whole day to have charata, not just the time to go ahead and show it to another merchant, which was a shorter period of time, or a relative, a shorter period of time. And then the Tagri Lid said, you didn't do us a favor of Tarfon. You didn't do us a favor, okay? So we're going to have to try to fit that in. So here's the shaila, and then we're going to look at the chart. I hope everyone should have it on your phone. I sent it out. Please open your phones. And Mendy, I don't know what Mendy's going to do over here. Are you good? Okay. Mendy is really okay. Good. I hope I'm getting you good and scared. So then, when you understand, you'll say that's great. Okay. So now. What's the shaila in the Gemara? Let's see. First, let's see the Gemara shaila. Now, again, there's 3 levels, guys. Let's call them A, B, and C. Very, very important because my chart is A, B, and C. A is when it's less than a sixth. Why did we say less than a sixth? The mekach is Michael. Question. The Gemara's question. Do you have to be, is it automatically Michael, or you need the share of showing it what to a relative or a taga to ascertain that it's less than a sixth? That share we said by Ainah. That share we said by level B. Question, does that clause of showing it to a relative apply to level A also to ascertain that it's less than a sixth? So that's the Gemara Shaila. Guys, good? You with me? So A is less than a sixth. B is exactly a sixth. And C is more than a sixth. More than a sixth, we said, the mekach spatel. Less than a sixth, we said the Michael, right? And Ainah is, according to our Mishnah, either or, give me back my money or give me back my object. In the final maskana, you're kaina and you pay back the ayna. Good. So now we want to be paishet this shaila. We want to be paishet the shaila whether you need mechila or not from the targei lud. From this, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to, the chart is going to go through what people are thinking. Okay. So let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. You can see this chart with a lot of words on it. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. This is column 1 is what we thought. Column 2 is why were the Targei Lud happy? And number 3, why were they unhappy and they went back to what? What? So that's the setup, guys. Good? You with me so far? Now, here's the Havamina of what we think right now. Level A, guys, again, what's level A? Less than a sixth. So, the Rabban and Reb Tarfin both agree that it's that level A, Reb Tarfin, a third, less than a third, less than a third. The Tanakama, less than a sixth. What? You need now, if you need Mechila by level A, that's a Shaila. Do you need Mechila? In other words, is it automatic or you have to go and go check it out? So if you need Mechila by A, why initially were they happy? I'll tell you why. B and C, guys, B is Aina, C is more than Aina, until 1/3 would void the deal, according to the say. So B and C, until the third, the deal would have been off because it's more than a sixth. But now you gave me a lot of leeway. You gave me up to 1/3 for the deal to be on. In other words, if you know more than a sixth, what's the din? It's over. If you're now being told 1 second, up to 1/3, it's still on. So you get double, right? You get double the amount. That's what will make them very, very happy. Right? So B and C until 1/3 would avoid the deal, but we would have Tarfin, B and C would be kaino, Maxoi nah. You would acquire it and return it. So they were very happy because the deal is on. Guys, you good? Yes? You good? The deal is still on. Did you hear? They're very happy. Like the Tanakama, the deal's off. Like them, the deal's on. Now, what did Rabbi Tarfin then go ahead and say? He went ahead and he said, you got the whole day to change your mind. Like the Tanakama, you didn't have the whole day. Like the Tanakama, what did you have? You only had the short time it had to find someone to evaluate it, right? Either a relative or a merchant. A shorter period of time. So now, why were the now A and B? If you're telling me you need A also less than a sixth, you need to go ahead and show it to somebody like B that A and B less than a sixth, or less than a third exactly is until Kadesh Yirayah. The Meichel would keep the overcharge until that period of time. The Tarfin said, you know what? A and B have the whole day, and you'll have to return the Ainah because they can possibly go back on the deal. So so that's why they weren't happy. A and B, they would be happy. They sure was a short period of time, and therefore the Meichel would be able to keep the overcharge because they wouldn't find somebody in that short period of time. But now they have a whole day to find somebody, and they'll have to return the Ainah, therefore they're not happy. Now, it must be then that we see, here you want to be placed to the Shaila. We see you need Mechila by A. That's a Shaila. Do you need Mechila by level A? It must be that their unhappiness is why, because you need Mechila. Because if you don't need Mechila, then A doesn't equal B. A equals B means less than a sixth to a sixth, less than a third. And by B, we know it's Kedei what? Kedei Sheyirah. But now, like Reb Tarfin, it's going to be the whole day. And A will also be the whole day. And that's a Shaila. Do you need Mechila by A? So therefore, you know why they weren't happy? Because the disadvantage of 3 outweighed the advantage of what? Over the advantage of 2. The advantage of 3, this outweighed this over here. So that's if you need Mechila. However, if A equals A, meaning if Pachas Meshtus and Pachas Methird equals each other, and you don't need Mechila, then they should never be unhappy, guys. There should be this is the same as above, and over here, A is Michael Alter. You don't have to ask anybody. So you know what you do if you're like Reb Tarfon, just stay away from exactly a third. As long as you stay away from a third, they're not going to show it to anybody, and then the deal be on. So the advantage of 2 is still in play, and it outweighs 3. So memela l'chayra, it doesn't make sense to say that if you don't need mechila. Because if you don't mechila, it would not explain why the Meichre Lud weren't happy. A lot of words, a lot of things, but guys, here. In other words, what are we saying? We're saying the following. If A equals B, meaning what? And you need Kadesh Yera'eh by both, I can understand why the Meichre Lud were unhappy when Rav Tarfon said you have the whole day. But if you don't need the whole day by A, because once your Meichel goes immediately, they should always be happy. The only time would be Kadesh Shirah if they say the exact amount of a third. As long as you stay away from a third, you got it made in the shade. So why would they be unhappy? Yet they are unhappy. So it must be like the tzad that you need mechila rather than not. Good. So you have a proof, yes? Okay, now that you understand the proof, we're going to destroy it. Okay. Ready? Good. Now, this says over here, refute proof. Lo'ilam mechila. Lo'ilam I'll say mechila is the altar. Guys, it's the altar. In other words, you don't have to ask anyone if it's less than a third or less than a third or less than a sixth. But the way we began, the premise we began on was wrong. The first premise we began on was A equals A, meaning that Reb Tarfon agrees that the following, that less than a sixth is equal to less than a third. That's not true. Level A, both Rav Tarfon and Chama would say the soul of Mechila is alta. Immediately it's over. And therefore you can replace the Shaila. Here's what we need, guys. Level B. But the Chacham says exactly a sixth of Ainah. Rav Tarfon says you have from a sixth to a third. He doesn't say you have a third. He doesn't say you have up to from a sixth until a third. That would be Ainah. Not we thought 1/6 and 1/3. That's this man. No, he says a little more leeway. You have up from a sixth until a third, but not that a third is the Ainah. Now, and see, the Chum would say a sixth is Betel Mekach. Rav Tarfon would say a sixth is still Ainah. It's still Ainah. So now, why were they happy originally? Like the Rabbanon, they're always chayzer even without mechila. So C, like the Rabbanon, you chayzer even without mechila. Since Rav Tarfon equated it with B, the Ainah, the Chazaru would be b'chadesh yiroeh. There would be the same amount that you have to show to somebody else, and not automatic. In other words, this is going now B to C. The other one was A to B. This is B to C. This is B to C. The first one was A to B. We're disproving it from B to C. I could say A is la'alter, but the reason why they were happy and unhappy is from B to C. C is automatically off, except like Rav Tarfon, C is bittul mekach. Like the Chachamim, it's over because it's more than a sixth. So now level C, that's more than a sixth. More than guys outside, more than a sixth like the Chachamim, over. Like Rav Tarfon, it's still Ainah. More than a sixth. Again, you have up to a third. Guys, you hit an afkamina. More than a sixth like Rav Tarfon, you have up to a third to still be Ainah. Like the Chachamim, as soon as you get past the sixth mark, deal over. Like Rav Tarfon, once you get past the sixth mark, you have up to a third for the deal to still be on with the guidelines of Ainah. And the guidelines of Ainah is you have to be able to show it to somebody. Good? You have to be able to show it to somebody. So now, C, the Rabbanan always chayzer even without mechila. Since Rav Tarfon equated with B, it's Ainah. The Chazaru would be b'chadei shirah, that's sheer, and not automatic. So the Targei Lu were very happy, guys. You know why? Initially, they thought that bittul mekach, it's over. It's over. The deal's gone. What did Rav Tarfon do? The deal is done. It's not over. Guys, if it's more than a sixth, it's over like the Chachamim. If it's more than a sixth, like Rav Tarfon up to a third, it's still on. So the Targei Lud were very, very happy. You see, this is B to C, not A to B. So the Targei Lud were very, very happy. Okay? This would cause their simcha. Good. Now it must be that C is always chayzer and be pushed we can push the next shaila. So now why weren't they happy now? Because there's no difference between C and B since kol hayoim. In other words, since it's kol hayom, they find a reason to be chayzer, just like lo'ilam chayzer. In other words, Once you give them a long period of time, the Tagrei Lud are unhappy because they're going to find a reason. Either or the Oina yes than the Shtus L'Shkiach, or it's not Shkiach to be less than a Shtus. And by case B, you be mafsid from the Bonan Kadei Shira and the longer period of time of Tafin Kol Yoin. Okay? Okay, let's hold off. Okay, like I said, it's a lot of words, a lot to digest, but I think we can go through the Gemara now with the words and it'll make a little sense, okay? And if it doesn't make any sense, it won't be any different than the past 30 years. No, I think if you follow it along, it does make, trust me, it's much better than just reading the words of the Gemara. It really does. Again, we're ascertaining from the words of the happiness of the Tagrei Lud to the unhappiness of they're changing their mind, what to be placed the Shiloh would be. So let's see it inside and see if it makes a little more sense. Iboilahu. So we're on Nunam and Aleph. Iboilahu. So Lenny, you may not get to do the Taisus, but I'll tell you, you didn't say much time. Iboilahu. Pachas mishtus l'Rabbanan. Less than a 6 according to the Chachamim. La'alta havi mechila, oy b'chtei she'iroya. In other words, level A, fellas. Is it immediately mechila? Or you need the same guidelines of level B, of Aina, the shear of showing to somebody. L'ktaga l'kroivav. Now, and what are you going to say? So if you're going to tell me you have to show, guys, if you have to show it to both, what's the difference between A and B? If you have to go ahead and show it, so what's the difference between level A less than a shtus and level B exactly a shtus? There's a difference. This is again according to the Mishnah. If you have a shtus, you have the upper hand. What's a chayzer? What's a kaina? The difference would be exactly a 6. You have a choice. Less than a 6, you don't have a choice. Okay. So in other words, I could still say the share of showing to individuals exists by A and B, and we have enough gemina. A to share, it would be on and B will be off. Maskon and B is also on, but that's why. But like this Gemara, it's okay. Now, my what's the din? Toshma. So now we're introducing the Tagrei Lud. Good. So now they changed their mind. They said they agree with the Chachamim and not Wad and not Rav Tarfon. Savrua, the Savrua means Salkadaitik, guys. Salkadaitik, we think, Pachas Mishlish Rav Tarfon is Kepachas Mishlish Rabbanan. In other words, the share of Aina was 1/3. So, like this, you can understand the happiness of the Tagrei Lud. At 1/6, the deal is on. Anything above a 6, the deal is off. They can go up to 1/3 and still the deal will be on. No, they can go ahead and cheat you up to kazoo, right? They really can cheat you a tremendous amount and still the deal will be on. So of course that would explain their happiness. If A equals B, right? In other words, if 1/6 equals 1/3 equals 1/6, A equals A, that pachas mishtus is equal to pachas mewad meshlish, and therefore Aina is up to 1/3. We can understand what would be mekach bottle by the Chachamim of over a 6 would still be in the guideline of Aina according to Rav Tarfon. So that would explain that mechila is not immediately, and you have to show it to somebody. And Rav Tarfon the whole day. That's why they would be unhappy. In other words, so going through the chart now, you understand initially why they are happy, because after all, look, they have. But now they're unhappy. Why? Because they only had a small amount to find out if they were cheated. Now they have a whole day to find out they're cheated. They'd rather go with the small Zman than the largest man. If you're going to tell me it's over immediately, so why did the Tagrei Lud unhappy? There's no kalayoim. Just stay away from 1/3. Guys, if you're telling me by level A, you don't have to check it out. Only by level B, as long as the Tagrei Lud stay away from exactly 1/3, right? They got it made in the shade. So why would they be unhappy? It's geschmack now, right? I like when I say right because I want to convince myself that I'm making you understand what's going on. What? You're good. I know you're good. You're very good. So my chasru. Why would they be unhappy? Right? But Rav Tarfon niklu tfei. The Maid Rabbanan kamashvei Aina. What the Chum say is Aina. Rav Tarfon avi mechila. Like Rav Tarfon, pachas mishlish is like pachas mishtos. Pachas mishlish like pachas mishtos. That's going misav is pachas mishlish. Okay, so now we're going retracting. Misav is pachas mishlish Rav Tarfon ke pachas mishtos Rabbanan dami loy. Mishtus v'at shlish l'Rab Tarfon kishtus atzma l'Rabbanon. Okay, what the Rabbanon say is 6, they go from a 6 to a third. They go from a 6 to a third. Ihachi b'maish samchu. So are they happy? Meikara tifshit. Let's be paisha the next shaila. The batal mekach l'Rabbanon, that the mekach is batal according to the Chachamim. Lo'ilam chayza. Lo'ilam the kivin the amalahu Reb Tarfon haveina samchu. They were happy. Ki amalahu kol hayoyim chazu. These hakadai the batal mekach l'Rabbanon b'chtei shiro l'tagar l'krayvoi. If you're going to tell me that level C, you can tell me level C is those k'tei shiro the my samchu b'shtus atzma. They'll be happy in the shtus itself. So Reb Tarfon mechila. Reb Tarfon was mechila Rabbanon ayna. Okay, another shaila. Iboilahu. Batal mekach l'Rabbanon. Level C. Again, we're going over like more like we never saw in the first place. La'ilam chayzer. Aydilma b'chtei sheira l'tagar l'krayvai. In other words, level C. The level C. We know level B. You have to show it to somebody. Our first shaila was level A, when it's less than a shtus. But now that it's more than a shtus, do you have to show it to somebody or not? Or it's automatically betel makach. So it's the same shaila. Either it's in the first shaila is it's a mechila right away. In the second shaila, the deal is off right away. Or do you have to wait to share a vad of showing to somebody? That's the shaila. If you're going to tell me level C, you have to show it to somebody. What are you going to ask? My ikka being shtus li yesral shtus. What's the difference between C to B? Right? The ikka, and this is the second part of the chart. Dilu shtus mishin is ane. If it's a 6, the person who was cheated chayza, he goes back on the deal. Dilu yesral shtus shneim chayza, and both can go back on the deal. That's the difference between B and C. My toshma chazlu de chachamim that they were happy. Very, you're going to tell me level C, like the Chachamim, also is the share of showing to somebody. Well, Rav Tarfon kol hayoyim, and Rav Tarfon the whole day. Mishum hachi chazru. That's why they weren't happy, guys. Why? According to the Chachamim, you only had a short period of time to go ahead and show it to somebody to be mevatel mekach. According to Rav Tarfon, you have the whole day to show it to somebody to be mevatel mekach. So him saying kol hayoyim is going to go ahead and extend the statute of limitations to find something wrong with it. Why? The kamash v'lo kol hayoyim. Okay, that's the Gemara in the very, very quick. That's the second chart. Amarava, Hilchasa, the halacha. Pachas mishtus, our Mishnah, less than a shtus, nikne mekach immediately. Immediately. In other words, we had a shaila whether Kadesha Yeroah, guys, we had a shaila of level A, Kadesha Yeroah, right? Fellas, this part you can understand. Level A, Kadesha Yeroah, we had a shaila. What is the Brisa saying unequivocally? You don't have to show anybody. As soon as less than a 6th, boom. But it works. Yeser al shtus, more than a 6th. This is also not like the Mishnah. Batul mekach, it's batul. No, it is like the Mishnah. More than a 6th, it's batul mekach, and you don't have to show anybody. Shtus, a 6th, kaina, umachsaina. That's not like our Mishnah. Our Mishnah said either or. Here we're saying no. The deal is on. The deal is on. You just have to go ahead and return the aina. Guys, look down at Rashi. If you look at Rashi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines from the bottom. 8 lines from the bottom. Umachsaraina. The less le'ilirava yadei al yaina. Rabbi the Masnisan. He doesn't hold that if it's exactly a 6, that the person who was cheated has the upper hand. The Sfile Reb Nosson the Brisa. He holds like Reb Nosson and the Brisa, who will meet in a second. The Kaimel Reb Nosson Dainahu. Reb Nosson is a judge in Dini Mamanis. The Nachas Lomka the Dina, and he gets down to the nitty gritty of the din. And we saw him in Iman in Baba Kama. He said he compared himself to Shmuel, Linyan Dini Mamanis. So the two things that the Brisa are different than the Mishnah. Level A in the Mishnah, we had a Shaila. It's less than a 6th. Its deal is Michael, but maybe the share of showing to somebody. We weren't pushed to the Shaila. Like the Brisa, it's off without showing to anybody. Level C, they both agree. Level B, Aina is where is the big difference. In our Mishnah, it's either or. Either the Mekach return the money or the Mekach batal. In the Brisa, the Mekach is on and return the Aina. And return the Aina. That's the difference. Let's finish the Gemara. Amar Rava, Hilchas apachas mishtus nikna mekach, yesel shtus batel mekach, shtus konu machzorina. V'zeh b'chtei sheyiroya l'tager or l'kroivay. Tanya Kabas say the Rava we are a brisa right to Rava. I know apachas mishtus nikne. I know less than a shtus you acquire it. Mekach nikne mekach. Yesel shtus batel mekach. Yesel shtus the mekach is batel. Shtus. Konu machzor, the Reb Nassim. That's how Rabbi passing like Reb Nassim. Rabbi Yehuda and Nasi Omer. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees with Reb Nassim. Yad Moichel Yoina. This is our Mishnah. The hands of the Moichel on the other hand. What's I'm going to Mechi? Give me my money back. Or Tenli Mashanusi. Either give me my money back or give me what? Vadoina. So Rav is passing the Reb Nassim in that way. He's passing the Reb Nassim. So Yotzimid Varenu. Basically, we had two shilas. The case A is K'nei She'iroya. We want to be Poishiwat from the Tagre Lud. We failed. We had case C. We wanted to go ahead and be Poishiwat. Case C, does Mechila, the Mekach Tois also require K'nei She'iroya? We were not able to do that as well, right? And we're getting a finality, we're getting a psak from Rava. Case A does not require K'nei She'iroya. Case C does not Kadesh Shira, only case B Kadesh Shira. That's the Gemara in a nutshell. That wasn't so bad, right? It wasn't so hard. I love when Benji says that. Benji says, that wasn't so hard.